Magandang gabi mga kababayan, mga kapatid at mga kaibigan. Napanood po natin ang Senate Committee hearing tungkol po dito sa Cebu. Ang tanong po kay Gobernador Gwin Garcia kung bakit ang Cebu ay nagpapatupad ng health protocol contrary to what the IATF is implementing. So, ang ibig po sabihin niyan, sa halip na sumunod ang lalawigan ng Cebu sa protocol na ipinatutupad ng IATF bilang as a national agency in charge for formulating health protocols nationwide, ang Cebu po ay nagkaroon sila ng ibang patakaran. At ang sabi nung tinanong si Gwin Garcia, the Governor of Cebu, kung bakit, ang sabi naman ni Gwin Garcia, Governor Gwin Garcia, na because the question was, you do not follow the instruction of the IATF as per instruction of the President. Sabi, hindi naman. Kaya lang, kami sa Cebu, yung Sangguniang Panlalawigan, nagpasa ng ordinansa which I have to implement in my capacity as Governor of Cebu. Kasi, ang sabi nga niya, itong ordinansa na ipinasa unanimously ng Provincial Board of Cebu is presumed valid unless otherwise declared void by the proper court. Well, of course, tama naman po because mayroon tayong presumption of legality of whatever laws or ordinances passed by their corresponding lawmaking body. Unless otherwise, the court declare it void. So tama po yung sinasabi ni Gwin Garcia. But the thing is, yung sinasabi po niya, in general. But the thing is, it's very dangerous proposition. To our minds, hindi po dapat ganon. Bakit po? Una, it is a general rule that, for instance, a barangay the Sangguniang Barangay cannot pass a resolution contrary to the municipal or city ordinance. In the same way that the city or the municipal ordinance or city ordinance, so long as it is not an independent city, cannot pass an ordinance contrary to the ordinance of the province. In the same way that the province cannot pass an ordinance that is contrary to the national laws and policies. That is the general rule. Otherwise, pag pinayagan mong kung hindi po ganon, so hindi may papatupad yung the hierarchy of laws. So, kung sinasabi ni Gwen Garcia na dahil nagpasa ang Cebu, Provincial Government of Cebu, ng ordinance contrary to the national policy, at dahil nagpasa ang Cebu at dahil pasado yon, ipatutupad niya until it is declared ultra vires by the proper court. Di ang mangyayari dyan, every province can just do the same. So on the while, habang may national policies na ipinatutupad, it cannot be followed at the provincial level or municipal level or at the city level, because ang sasabihin nila, meron kaming kanya-kanyang ordinance. At hanggat itong ordinance na ito ay valid ito, hanggat hindi na idideklara ng korte na invalid. And how long will it take? How long will it take? If the case is filed with the regional trial court, aakyat yan sa Court of Appeals o sa Supreme Court. Or even assuming the case is filed directly with the Supreme Court on the question of law, matagal pa rin yun, it take times. At magkakaroon yan ng gap na ibig sabihin, while the case is pending with court for determination as to whether it is ultra vires or not, yung national policies hindi may patutupad. So, in other words, ang dapat dito, what should be the rule that has to be implemented, hindi yung sinasabi ni Gwen Garcia that the ordinance that we have passed at the provincial level would be valid until declared void. No. Dapat yan, the ordinance that is passed by the Provincial Board of Cebu, the same being contrary to national policy, should be presumed void unless otherwise declared valid by the proper court. Yun po ang tamang pananaw dapat yan. Dapat ganon. Hindi kabaliktaran. Otherwise, there will be a danger of the national policies being contradicted by the city, by the province, or by the municipality and down the line. The way Governor Garcia answered to the query of the senators, mayroon pa siyang, there was a sound of arrogance in her answer, being perhaps very confident with her stand that the ordinance passed by the province of Cebu is valid and she has to implement it, being the governor, unless otherwise declared ultra vires according to her by the proper court. Madam Gwen Garcia and all concerned, hindi po dapat ganon ang views natin dito. When the ordinance passed by the Provincial Board of Cebu is contrary to the IETF rules being adopted by the President through an executive order for the purpose, should be considered ultra vires. We repeat, when the ordinance of Cebu, when the ordinance passed by the Provincial Board of Cebu is contrary to the letters or the spirit of the implementing policies issued by the IATF, should that provincial ordinance of Cebu should be presumed to be ultra vires until declared valid by the proper court. Kaya ang tama dyan, dapat that ordinance should not be implemented unless naideklara na legal by the proper court. Sapagkat yung sinasabi mo na yung ordinance is valid even if it is contrary to the national policies until declared ultra vires by the court, maling proposition yan. That is not, you have cited that it is in accordance with the local government code, RA 7116. No. The spirit of the law to that effect is that the ordinances passed by the LGUs should be in accordance with the hierarchy of laws, where barangay resolution passed by the barangay council should not be contrary to the municipal or city council, and that this municipal or city council, the municipal ordinances and the city ordinances, if it is not an independent city, should not be contrary to the provincial ordinances passed by the provincial board, and that the provincial board, the provincial ordinances passed by the provincial board should not be contrary to the national policies. That should be the rule, or that is the rule actually. So much so that if, for instance, the provincial ordinance passed by the provincial board of Cebu is contrary to the national policy, the fact that it is contrary should be presumed illegal or ultra vires. Now, if you want to question it, then you may go to the proper court for the court to declare as to whether it is valid in fact or not. Once it is declared valid, only then that you can implement it. Kaya po, inuulit natin, mali po ang proposition advanced by the Governor of Cebu. Tinatawagan po natin yung mga concerned agencies dito na tingnan po ito. Tingnan po itong sinasabi po ng Cebu. Actually, parang ito din ang, this is what Leni Robredo was suggesting to Davao. Naggayahin ang Cebu para bumaba ang COVID sa Davao. So look, there is already an encouragement, no less by the Vice President, for every province to go against the policy being implemented by the IATF. If we have to follow the what Cebu, province of Cebu has done. So inuulit po natin na sa atin pong palagay at ang atin pong paninindigan sa isyong ito, ay bawal po yung ginagawa ng Cebu. Maliban na lang kung sabihin po ng Korte Suprema na tama sila. Yung ganung paninindigan na the Cebu or every province can just make an ordinance contrary to the national policies, and that being approved by the province should be implemented unless otherwise stopped by the court, by the proper court for being ultra vires. Dapat po ito ay matingnan sapagkat very dangerous proposition po ito kung susundan natin yung logic at argument ni Gwen Garcia, the Governor of Cebu. So, tinatawagan po natin dito si Salvador Panilo being the legal counsel of the President, yung DOJ as well. Kung ano yung, at saka mismo yung IETF, kung ano yung, kung tama ba itong sinasabi ni Gwen Garcia. But we repeat, as of now, ang atin pong paninindigan ay mali. Dapat po sumunod ang lahat ng probinsya, lahat ng LGUs for that matter, sa ipinatutupad ng IETF. Otherwise, wala po tayong centralized approach to contain this COVID-19 surge in the provinces. So, inuulit po natin yan. Dapat DOH, tingnan po natin yan. We are talking of the national policies to contain COVID-19 pandemic being implemented at the provincial level. Well, admittedly, kung iba ang situation nila, they can adapt. But they have to see to it that it should not be contrary to the IETF policies. Iyon po ang dapat. Kung mag-iba man sila ng formula, dapat sanction pa rin o it should be allowed by the IETF, because no LGUs should be allowed to have their own formula for discretion of having their own formula how to contain COVID-19 pandemic. Otherwise po, mawawalan to ng synchronization, mawawalan ng sistema at magiging more dangerous po ito at to a certain degree divisive. Magiging divisive po ito of the Filipino society sapagkat magkaiba-iba yung approach ng bawat LGU. Pag sinundan po natin yung proposition, pag sinundan po natin ang proposition ni Governor Gwen Garcia. Sa ibang issue naman po, mayroon pong nakuha nung linggo ayon sa balita, malaking halaga ng shabu in Cavite and at the same time dito po sa Parañaque, Baclaran, Parañaque. So ano po ang implikasyon yan? That even at this time, napakalaki pong malalaki pa rin ang problema sa droga. And that is understandable because malaking negosyo po ang droga. And this cannot be stopped if the government has to be laxed with it, meaning that the government should not rest its campaign against drugs. Alam po natin that now even the international community is prosecuting the president for the alleged human rights violation in relation to his drug campaigns. At itong international prosecution through the ICC is initiated by the local opposition of the president in the person of De Lima, especially in the person of Trillanes, in the person of Robredo. Ito po at saka yung iba dyan, masigasig sila to prosecute the president, even the Commission on Human Rights, upon assumption that in the war against drug launched by the president, maraming namamatay. Ito po ang masasabi natin dyan. Kung should the president will not use the iron hands, will not kill the posers and the addicts who refuse to surrender, then we are just making mockery of this war on drugs. Ang dapat na tinitingnan dito ng Human Rights Commission, ng International Human Rights Commission, kung paano mapipigilan o malilinis ang lipunang Pilipino mula sa mga illegal traders of these illegal drugs which destroy the lives of the people. Because if the only way to clean up our society from illegal drugs is to kill all posers at sight and all these addicts, drug addicts, then so be it. Because it is much better to sacrifice their lives than sacrificing the future of the young generations destroyed by these illegal drug trades. Mga kalukuhan po, katarantaduhan yang sinasabing human rights as a cover up to encourage, to promote illegal drug trades in the country. Para matigil na yan, dapat patayin lahat ng mga posers na yan kung hindi sila kusang loob na susuko. Pati ang mga addict na yan. That is the only way to clean up our society from these illegal drugs. At itong mga advocates ko noon ng human rights, a lot of them are advocating in order to protect their illegal drug trade. Yan po ang totoo niyan. Dahil kung ikaw ay hindi nagninegosyo ng droga, kung ikaw ay walang pakinabang dito sa negosyo na yung illegal na droga, definitely you will be happy seeing na itong mga taong ito ay nawawala, namamatay. Pero kung ikaw ay involved sa droga in whatever way, as a user or poser, sasamantalahin mo talaga. Nasasabihin mo para mapigilan ang gobyerno, ang ating Pangulo, na huwag nang napabayaan na lang sila. Sasamantalahin mong sabihin, may mga human rights violation yan. Kaya i-prosecute yung mga police, i-prosecute yung Pangulo. Yan ang totoo. Sasamantalahin mo because that is the only way to stop the government from pursuing the posers and the addicts. We encourage, we support the president and the police organizations, the PDEA, with what they are doing, killing the posers and the addicts if they refuse to surrender, if they refuse to submit. Para matakot na yung mga posers at mga addict, malinis na. Dahil kung hindi po gagamitan ng kamay na bakal yan, kung hindi po nila makikita na talaga ang mga poser at ang mga addict na yan ay hindi pinapatay, hindi talaga titigil yan. Sasabihin, hindi naman totoo yung bintang. Bintang lang yan. Una po, hindi rin naman mga gago ang mga pulis. Ang PDEA, na kahit alam na inosente ka, hindi ka involved, papatayin ka. Hindi totoo po yan. Gago lang ang mga taong gumagawa ng ganun. Kaya yan, napapagbintangan. Kaya yan, napapatay. Dahil kilala nilang talamak na yan. By their long time surveillance. We have talked a person na ang sabi niya, he's a civilian. Ang sabi niya, member siya sa isang LGU ng council. Hindi natin maano yung pangalan ng council. Na ito ay binubuo ng, I think, ang chairman yata dito, mayor. Din chief of police. Representative ng barangay. And civic organizations. Na ang sabi doon sa meeting nila, talagang pinag-usapan mayroong mga taong napangalanan sa isang lugar na addict o poser. Talagang bago yan ibigay sa pulis for implementation para hulihin, para matukhang, sabi nga. Talagang sabi niya, mahirap pala. Hindi basta-basta napapagbintangan ang isang tao na iyan ay poser o addict sapagkat ini-evaluate ng council. Pinag-usapan bakit yung tao na yan napasama ang pangalan. Sino ang nagbigay ng informasyon. Baka naman personal lang ang dahilan. Then binibiri pa yun paulit-ulit sa barangay, doon sa civic organization na yun, din sa police at saka yung mayor. Nagpapa-verify din. So, ang sabi nga ng kausap natin, isang civilian who happen to be a member of that council, yung kanilang organization, in that LGU, I will not name that person of course, and the LGU, I will not name it. But then, ang sabi niya, because he was a member, ganun pala kasilan yun. So in other words, with this process at the LGU level of verification as to whether a specific person is really a poser or a user to be the subject of police operation or arrest, ay talagang makikita mo na hindi basta-basta. Ibig sabihin diyan, kapag bintangan yan, may basihan because of that council created. At ito ang sinasabi ng ating Pangulo, na hindi pwedeng i-divulge ito. Hindi pwedeng i-divulge. Kasi doon may magre-report na ito si Mr. A, ganito, poser yan. That is security. Kung i-divulge yung public records na hinihingi ng human rights ng mga NGO na to make it public, that would be very dangerous for the persons who gave the informations. Mapapublicize yun. Secret ito. Tsaka itong mga determination process. Ngayon, yung sinasabing mga pulis na nambaril na lang, hindi naman lumaban, nakaluhod na binabaril. Well, kung may ebidensya sila, disampahan yung police concern. Because police are allowed to kill the posers and the addict if these people are resisting arrest with arms. Kasi, in effect, they are endangering the lives of the arresting officers and under the principle of self-defense. This is a justifying circumstance for the police officers to kill the posers and the addicts to be arrested. So kung may mga ganon na insidente, specifically where the police killed a poser or an addict who do not resist arrest, yun, talagang mali yun. Yun, pwedeng i-divulge yung record na yun. Kasi that is a criminal records, public records yun. Pero yung sinasabing mga records relative to suppliers of the informations, hindi pwede yung i-divulge. Sapagkat that is very, that put to rest the lives of the people, members of the council, who are the informants. Yun ang sinasabi ng ating Pangulo, that is national security records which cannot be divulged to the public. Pero doon sa mga pumatay na walang kalaban-laban, hindi naman nalagay ang panganib sa buhay, ang panganib ng mga pulis. Pero binaril dyan, pinatay yung isang poser o isang addict, dapat talaga yun. Kasi may dahilan din ang pulis doon kung ba't nila pinapatay. Alam niyo po kung bakit? Maybe, itong mga tao na ito na inuunahan nilang patayin, ito ay kanilang mga tao dati, mga runner ng mga pulis mismo. And these people might be, pag hinayaan nilang buhay yan na magsusumbong na ang amo ko si ganitong pulis si ganitong general, si ganitong koronel. So, ang ginagawa ng pulis, talagang at sight, babarilin din agad nila yun para hindi makapagsalita against them. Kasi alam din naman natin na noong panahon, bago pa umupo ang ating Pangulo, marami naman talagang mga pulis na involved sa illegal drug trade. At ang ginagamit nilang runner, tagatulak, itong mga addict at itong mga small-time posers dyan. So that could be the reason also. And these police officers who are involved with this kind of business, dapat lang talaga na parusahan. Dapat lang po. Kaya, pero sinasabi po natin dito sa mga human rights advocates, ito yung habulin nyo, itong mga ganitong pulis. Pero yung police officers who are performing their duty faithfully in relation to the government war on drugs, they ought to be protected. And this is what we mean. At ito yung sinasabi natin. On the while po, tapusin natin ang talakayan ngayong gabi. Marami pong salamat. As a token, we invited to subscribe our YouTube channel, ang ating paninindigan sa napapanahong isyu ng lipunan. Muli, maraming salamat at magandang gabi.